Oh boy. Hmm. All right, y'all. What's going on? What's happening? This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. So today I am going to be giving a video commentary, right, from an interview that I've seen. Now, this interview is 3 parts. Okay. So the person that was on the interview or being interviewed was Princella Clark. And it's funny, she goes by the name of Pastor P now. And she considered as the female version of Kevin Samuel, which that's funny as hell. So the channel is RealLyfeProduction. Okay, life with a Y instead of I. Okay, RealLyfeProduction. That's where you can find her interview. It's just mighty funny to me. So I'm going to share my thoughts and comments on here. So I'm going to play the video, right? And I'm playing part 2 of this, the one which she said that a man was made to be a slave. So first off, they started off wrong, calling her the female Kevin Samuel, auntie, aka Pastor P. They call her the Kevin Samuel. I would have been offended. All right, but let's go ahead and play this video. Okay. Let's see. Let me make sure my sound is up. Hold on. Oops. Okay, let me try to get this sound together. All right, so yeah, so the name of the video is, this is part 2. Okay, so she did 3 parts. I watched all 3 of them. A man was made to be a slave. The female Kevin Samuel, auntie, aka Princella. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's get started.
Yo, this is Princella the Queen Maker, also known as Auntie from Fresh and Fit. Yo, I just did an interview with real life street stars. Go ahead and follow.
Real life. Let's say real life. It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
I would love to get your take on the female rap industry.
Oh, God.
So they say, say that behind the female rapper is a man. He's writing the music, he's creating the look, he's projecting the image. And it's not necessarily the image that a man would want to maybe marry or to have raise his children.
Right.
But it is over-sexualized, a lot of nudity, a lot of profanity. What's your take on it? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's definitely done by men. I mean, if you ask a man if he was a woman for a day, what he would do, the answer is give all my homeboys some pussy. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. They have said that. Right? So in their mind, right, they project, right, they create the female for the male fantasy, right? It doesn't matter what the woman wants. It's all done for the male gaze, right? And we blame the women, but in actuality, a lot of them don't have creative control. I know when I was rapping, right? When I was, quote unquote, going to people's studios, oh, well, I can help you, I can do this. They always wanted to turn me into this, like, whore type image. And I'm like, that ain't me. They tried to do it to young M.A. Y'all see how young M.A., she's straight hood. But when they first came, they tried to make her, they put her in a wig and try to make, that's what they do.
Music is sexualized.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the way music is.
Yeah, but it's run by men.
So what are your thoughts when you see like the city girls bringing like over sexualism and it like basically what they call pussy power?
Well, it's a false idea of quote unquote pussy power, because what they're actually doing is promoting women to continue to go out there and have sex. That is not the power of pussy. The power of pussy is limiting access to it. And sexual freedom and sexual power for the woman is being able to realize that you have the power to reject and deny, not to just go willy-nilly, oh, I did this, I got wet ass pussy, this, that, and the other one. So it's just another alternative to push people on the lower echelons to keep having sex to produce slaves. That's really what the ultimate objective is. So, I'm not for the city girls or the WAP. I'm not for all of that, because it's a destruction of the female herself. It sounds good for quote unquote feminism, but it's really a detriment to the woman.
What are your thoughts on the idea of?
Okay, so I want to share some of that now. Some of the stuff that she's saying, as far as like how it is detrimental to the woman, especially like songs like WAP and what city girls be talking about. I can agree with her on that, because eventually the woman starts to feel like she losing her value in herself when she going around here and engaging to sexual activity with multiple men. You know what I'm saying? So I can agree with her on that. Yes, it does cause you to feel like you're losing your value. You losing yourself as a woman. But what also, I would say that what I also agree with her on, as far as like the males that's being behind the scene pushing the agenda, I agree with that as well. There are men. I wouldn't say that's every man, but there are men that are behind the scene. It's a matter of fact, okay, if you remember when City Girls first came out, they did the song Act Up, right? That song Act Up was written by what's that rapper's name? Yachty. That's his name, Yachty. Yeah, Yachty was the one that wrote the song Act Up. Okay. And the part they said, real bad bitch, don't give a fuck by a nigga. He wrote all that. He wrote all those lyrics. And those girls just rapping. And see, what people don't understand is that sometimes the songs that you hear from these female rappers, it's not really coming from them per se, personally. It's actually, the people that's writing the songs, sometimes it's the males. Because they trying to think on the perspective of how females will think and how they will portray, etc. And so this is their idea, and they give it to the female artists, and the female artists either sing the song or they'll rap the song. So, yeah. Somebody put WAP is encouraging women to be comfortable in their own skin. Yes and no. Not necessarily. See, the misinterpretation, here's the problem. WAP is trying to teach women how to bring about woman empowerment, but there's more to being a woman than just what's in between the legs. The power is not in between the woman's legs. The power is in her mind. That's where the power is at, not in between her legs. So that's in my opinion, that's the wrong message to put out there. That's misconstruing these women. So these women go out here thinking that they pussy is the power, and it really ain't. So let me go ahead and continue to play the video. Hold up.
In order for you to touch this, I'm gonna need some money. For you to get my number, I'm gonna need some money. And if you want to lay with me, I'm gonna need some money. Before we can go to that, I need some money.
Well,
some money.
Okay. Here's the reality of it. Men pursue women. You only want something because you ain't got it, right? And you only pursue something because you want it. People pursue that which is of value. Men come to take. Women have resources. Women are a resource to men. I don't know any resource that's free. I don't know no food that's free. I don't know no success story that was obtained for free. I don't know none of this equipment that y'all got for free. None of it. Women are just like this equipment, right? Men compare women to cars all the time. Last time I looked, you had to purchase a car, right? So the only thing that men actually have to bring to the table is finances. They want something from you. It's better that you charge them for it as opposed to giving it away under some idea of love. So, baby cat, send him your cash app.
Could you say a woman will choose a man because of his information?
For his information. Well, it's possible. It's possible. In the pimping whole world, that's the game. Okay? That's the game. But the game has been flipped. A lot of times, the male, every pimp know that the woman don't need them. They got to sell her that he got something that she can capitalize off of her resources, right? He has to sell that to her. And typically what they try to sell is protection. Meanwhile, the hoe is really on her own. All pimps know this. So the woman is manipulated to believe, because you can only run this game on a woman who needs something. She has to need something. If she don't have no weaknesses, it's hard to sell her on that. But if you got two struggling people and you got to do say, hey, baby, come on, listen, man, we can go out here. You can get this money from these niggas. Go fuck this nigga. Go do this. I got some game, some wisdom that can make you get the most value out of your body, right? So being in a state of need, she may do that then, but it becomes much harder to do that with a woman that ain't down there. See, now you got to have a little bit more cash, because you can't be no bottom feeder ass nigga going up to no bitch rolling in no damn Rolls Royce. You know you got to have some bank. Men know this. They know this.
We've seen women with money take an ex-con straight out of prison. Mm-hmm. And
okay, so that part about what men offer is finances. Okay, so that's part that is true, but also, what about if he offers some form of intelligence? What about if he offers some form of critical thinking? What about that? See, it's one thing to get with a man that has finances, right? But it's another thing to get with a man who have both the brain and the finances. So why you just want a man for his finances? I mean, just something to ask, unless you guys agree that that's what it's going to be. But at the same time, that's also a setup, because if you're just dealing with the guy and you're expecting for him to financially provide for you, it may not happen. And you gotta, if you're gonna do that, you better come strong with your game as a woman, or otherwise it's not gonna happen. Because nowadays a lot of these men are not trying to provide for women in the way they think they should be provided. They're not. Ask the average man, is he willing to pay all the woman's bill? He will tell you no. He will pay the bill if they was in a relationship, but if they're not in a relationship, then no, he ain't trying to pay all her bills. Now, some men might offer some help. You know what I'm saying? If they genuinely care about the woman and they want to help her out, then that's a different thing. But a lot of these men ain't finna just come out their pocket and giving a woman some money. Like, they feel like, well, if you want some money, then you got to give something in return. You know what I'm saying? You got to show me that you need this money, because I'm not just going to up and give it to you. You know what I mean? So that's that part. So, yeah, you have to be careful, and you can't accept money from everybody. You can't accept money from everybody. It's like you have to really be mindful of who you accept money from, because you don't know their mentality. See, some guys might give you money just to control you. They feel like, hey, if I'm paying all the bills, if I'm doing all of this, then I have a right to say so, and I have a right to be in control. So women will have to be careful of that too, and be mindful of that. You know, so that's where I stand on that. But let me continue.
Get digmatized over him having nothing. She's, I just need you here. Now, mind you, she's still the dominant. Like, she still she run a business. Right. She got an escort. She doing her thing. But she come home.
I was 25 years old when I started my anti-aging skincare
Hold on.
and the main ingredient that I was looking to incorporate.
And in the bedroom, she might become the submissive. She might allow him to, do your will. And then she turns back into the boss she is. Now, when you see that, where a man is still needed for, like you said, it's only money that we're needing. Some men don't come with money. They come with other things. Like, you still need a man around. Like, who's going to kill that roach? Like, seriously. Who's going to kill that rat?
Listen, man, I had a wasp nest built, and it was like 7 of them out there. Who you think killed that shit? Because I ain't got no man around. I had to go out there and kill it. No, fuck that. I went out there. Fuck that, right? And I'm like this. The male want to be needed for some basic ass shit like killing a roach and opening a car door. Like,
no, we're here to get dirty. Women are pretty things. They don't want to, they're not about to go out there and get cut up and run and get stung by hornets and nothing like that. Men don't mind them blows. We're not pretty little things. We don't mind getting dirty.
I can't tell how y'all all on goddamn social media these days.
I mean, it's
Pretty Ricky, what they call them.
I mean, different men, different times, but in the old school, in the I don't want to say the natural things, but in the old school, in the old law, men will go out there and get dirty. Versus a woman wanting to get dirty. Woman normally was wanting to stay feminine. There's a feminine nature about y'all that just want to stay feminine.
That's a production, man.
Is it a production?
Yeah, because see, now you got to go back to how they promoted this, because if that's the natural way, let me run it back real quick. Let's define nature first, okay? Because that's the problem that we never start off. What the hell is nature? Let me tell you, nature is the path of least resistance. Anti-nature is the path of most resistance. It's natural for you to go to sleep when you're sleepy, right? That's easy for you to do. It's hard as hell for you to stay up when you dead dog tired. And you got to coach yourself. You got to drink stuff. You got to turn the AC all the way on to do something. Anti-natural means that you have to teach, coach, train, and force against your natural behavioral patterns. If that was natural, the conversation wouldn't be women need to get back in their place. Women need to do this. You need to stop acting so masculine. You need to stop this, stop that, stop that. We wouldn't have to have that conversation because naturally women would just be sitting looking like pretty logs. But instead, women want to be bosses. They want to put in energy, effort. They want to do all of these things. You know why? Because that's the nature of a woman, right? Nature of a woman is not an inanimate object just sitting there looking pretty. When you go back to the 1950s, you'll see articles trying to promote the housewife cooking and cleaning. This is all a production. Take all of the lights, cameras, action, take all of the laws away. Take the laws away, because law and law enforcement is used to govern and control human nature. Take it away, and where does the water go? Where does the water flow? That's the natural path. When women start acting in their natural behavioral patterns, guess what happens? It threatens men's existence, because men depend on women to survive. They depend on women to survive. And this is what makes men fight against each other, so that you can pass your genes along and go conquer the territory of a woman and family.
Okay, so now we have a few problems here. There's some problem here. The guy that was asking her some questions, he made some points, because most women ain't finna get their hands dirty. Okay? Most women ain't finna get their hands dirty. They not finna get their hands dirty. It's out the question. They not finna get their hands dirty. They not finna go out there and do a lot of manly work. Okay, you only have maybe a few women that will do certain things. Hell, you can't even get too many women to take out the trash. Most women will tell you they don't like taking out the damn trash. They'll rather leave that for a man. All right, and so also she mentioned about the man open up the door for her or whatnot. Well, that in itself, that's a form of protection. Okay. You know, when men open up doors for women, like if they open up the car, that it's a sign of, here, I'm the protector. And I'm making sure you get in your car safely. I'm making sure you get into this building safely. Okay. So that's called courtship. All right. And it's out there for a reason, to make sure that the woman is protected. Why? Because let's keep it real. Most women do not have the defense mechanism to protect themselves. And then going to the part where she was talking about the prostitutes needing, and how the pimp sell the whole game to a prostitute. Well, yeah, 9 times out of 10, if she's out there in that lifestyle and she's selling her body, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you're gonna need protection, because you're around a whole lot of strangers. You're around people that you don't even know. Okay, you could be around men who want to rape you, who want to kidnap you, who wants to kill you. Okay, you could be around all type of individuals. You don't know what kind of individual you come across. The only thing that you know as a woman is you gotta hustle, you gotta get your money, you gotta get paid, you gotta take care of your bills. So in this case, yeah, it would make sense that she want protection, but again, of course, the pimp is gonna come to her aid because he know that she in a vulnerable position. Right now, it, like she was saying about women that is higher up, yeah, they may not need protection because they already got the protection they needed. You know what I'm saying? They good enough, so they don't really need nothing else. If you know what I'm saying, they higher up. You know what I mean? But generally speaking, a woman cannot survive in the streets a way a man can survive. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real easy for the woman to get preyed on in the street. So, of course, this is why women just gotta start taking self-defense. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to protect themselves, because otherwise you're gonna get put in a dangerous situation. You know, if you try to run the streets the way a man run the streets, you're not gonna be able to do it. You know what I mean? And this whole thing about men need women as opposed to women need men, that's not true. We all need each other. We all need each other, men and women both. We cannot survive in the world without one another. So you can't have a world where it's just all women and not enough men. You know what I'm saying? Or a world where it's all men and not enough women. You know what I mean? We got to be able to learn how to coexist. We need each other for different things. So to sit here and say that a woman don't necessarily need a man, that's a false in itself. That's a false statement. Because if that's the case, then how can a woman have an environment where she can be able to have some form of communalism, right, if it's not provided for her? So if you say that men are out to conquer, men are territorial, men have violent nature, this, that, and other, if you say that, then obviously the man is needed in the picture. He's needed for the protection purpose, for for providing, and for different things. Okay, so he's needed for something. So to say that a woman don't really need a man, that's not true. You know, let you have some type of situation going on in your house, right? Some type of mechanical issue. Okay, you're gonna call on that man to come fix that, because 9 times out of 10 you don't know what the hell you're doing and you don't want to hurt yourself. Or let's say if there's something wrong with the roof of your house, you're gonna call a man for that, right? So it is very ludicrous to even make an argument that, well, a woman don't necessarily need a man. And we do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whether you a single woman, whether you a woman that's married or whatnot, you're going to need a man for something. Okay, you may not need a man for sex, but you're gonna need a man for something else. You're gonna need a man to, when it's in case of emergency, you're gonna need him. So how can't you get that out the equation? That makes no sense. That's where it becomes illogical to me. But let me continue.
And you can say, nanny boo boo, I got my family. What about you? Because it's every man for himself in reality. This patriarchal system makes it seem like there's a community of males. Men are not communal. They are competitors. Women are communal, right? And women do the majority of the work in every field. It's women and it's a scientific fact that the most successful men were influenced by a woman. It was a woman behind him, right? That's a fact. Women do the majority of the work. They're doing the clerical work. They're doing all of the mind work. They're doing the moving things to make things successful. But we try to erase that reality. Women have a duality about them that allow them to do so many things, right? It's my natural path. I'm not doing something that's anti-natural. I'm not trying to compete with no man. I'm just naturally a hustler. I was deadlifting 300 pounds when I was, you know what I mean? I was maxing out my push-ups on the male scale. It took 75 push-ups for men to max out their push-ups. It only took 50 for a woman. I was maxing them out on the male scale, right? I was running a 15-minute 2 mile, right? I wanted to do the Army. I just have a desire to do physical things. This ain't got nothing to do with competing for a man or competing with a man. The fact of the matter is like this. Men say women's supposed to do all of this. Okay, well, when I was out on the street at 18 years old and I ain't had nobody to turn to, was I supposed to go run to a man and say, help me so you can pimp me? Or was I supposed to thug it out and on my own willpower and do something? Right? We don't ever think about the situations people in. We just want to judge them. This world is not set up for people to sit and rest. You got to fucking go get it.
So do you believe that true love, real love can exist between a man and a woman?
No. Men are not capable of love. No. Men are incapable of love. This is my whole thing.
So that's your whole spiel.
Yeah, that's my whole spiel. Men are not capable of love. Men are codependent by nature. By nature, they are codependent. Scientific studies even show that boys are attached more to their mothers than girls. They are more emotionally reactive. They need more care. Boys are much harder to raise than girls. And men have a problem with
Sure.
I'm gonna do y'all a solid. Y'all, it's out there. Google fragile male. It's a PubMed article. Research in the government's database. Research fragile male and testosterone and aggression in men. Right? Men are codependent by nature. It takes more to care for a boy child. Now, if that was not true. Because I know he about ready to say something. If that wasn't true, nobody would keep saying, well, it's the single mothers raising the boys. Men know boys are harder to raise than girls. Do you know that? Boys need control mechanisms. And if you don't control them, and when that testosterone start kicking in, something in the brain, males do not respect women or the authority. You need some male or quote unquote alpha male to control that testosterone in that male child. That's a fact. Males are harder to raise than girls. So because of that, they are codependent. If you don't kick a male out of your house, he's going to get lax and that cord is going to stay attached. And he's going to be looking for women to replace his mother. If you don't, he's going to be upset. Men have to sink or swim, right? And because of that reality of the male, it prevents him from ever getting into a higher place of love because men operate from the waist down. Power, ego, and sin.
Do it daily with Health by Habit. Now in gummy form. No gluten.
All right, so now let me say something. She said that men are incapable of love, right? They are incapable of love, but they are more emotionally attached to their mothers than the girls. All right, so if they are more emotionally attached to their mothers, right? Wouldn't that man be capable of loving somebody? Because let's think about it. Your first love as a man is your mama. When it comes to a woman, that's your mama. Your mama is your first love. Then your grandmama is your second love as a man. Okay? Let something happen to them. Let something tragic happen. Let somebody try to harm your mother or your grandmother. As a man, you're going to be in protective mode. You're ready to get violent about your mama or about your grandmama, because those two women are the ones that are closest to your heart. Those women are the ones that you love the most. Okay? So yes, a man is going to look for a woman that has some qualities that his mother has. That does not always mean that he wants to procrastinate and just be on the woman all day, but he wants a woman who has similar qualities. Because as a child, when you're growing up, right, you're not just looking for your parents for love, you're looking up to them as an example. So for a boy, he look up to his father as an example of a man. And also when he look at his mother, he's looking at his mother as an example of what to look for in a woman. Same way with a girl looking at her mama as an example of a woman, but looking up to her father as an example of a man. Okay, so when you're looking at the man, right, or you trying to find a man, you trying to find a man that has a similar qualities or similar personality like your father. Okay, because so when you look at your parents' relationship in your mind, right, this is like the ideal relationship that you want, right? So you're looking for somebody who have those similar qualities. So for a man, he's looking for somebody that have those similar qualities as his mother or as his grandmother. Okay. So he's going to look for a woman that knows how to maintain a household, cook and clean and things like that. But here's the thing with that. If you got to tell a woman that she got to know how to cook and clean and wash and she don't know how to do that, then you may not want to be with her. Okay. You may not want to have a relationship with her. But as long as that woman, that should come automatically. Oh, that should come automatically. That woman should automatically know how to wash, keep her house clean, keep herself clean, and she should know how to cook. You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, he's also looking for other personality traits. Is she good with kids? Does she know how to communicate? Is she a good listener? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in a way, of course, a boy is going to kind of look for that mother figure, like, you know, or somebody who has similar qualities as his mother. And yes, he's going to be emotionally attached to his mama because that's his first love. Not in the sense of like romance, but that's the first woman that he loved is his mama. The second woman that he loved is his grandma. You know what I'm saying? Then auntie and all of them come down in the picture. But the main two is mama and grandma. And again, anything that happens to them, watch what would it do to a man. Let something happen to his mama, let something happen to his grandma. As a matter of fact, he'll protect both of them before he'll protect his dad. And they say, well, boys are much harder to raise. Okay, yes, boys can be harder to raise. You're right about the testosterone and all of that, right? That's why the father is needed in the boy's life. Now, if you know that the boy are much harder to raise, that's why you need to keep the daddy around. Why kick the daddy out the picture when you need to keep him around? Because he needs to be there to give that boy some discipline, right? He got to give that boy some structure. He got to give him some type of foundation. Because as a woman, you can only do so much. You can only show him the ropes in life. You can only teach him what it means to be a human, but you cannot teach him what it means to be a man. So therefore, his father is needed in the picture. His father is needed in the household so he can see the definition of what a man is. Otherwise, you can't teach that boy how to be a man because you don't have the biology. Yeah, you might act like one, you might talk like one, you know what I'm saying? You might carry on the traits as far as physical, as far as like body language wise, but other than that, you don't have the biology as a man. You don't have that biological trait that you can teach him how to be a man. You don't have that as a woman. And same goes for a man when he's raising a daughter. He don't have a biological trait to be a female. Yeah, some men out here can act like women all day, dress up or whatever, but they don't have that biology. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it's necessary to have the man around. You need a man for that. You need a man around. So, you can't totally dismiss the man out the picture. So, basically, you're saying subconsciously, Princella, that the man is needed in the picture. You're saying that. So why you sitting here saying that the man needs the woman, but the woman don't necessarily need a man, you're pretty much contradicting your own statement because you used an example as a little boy having emotional ties with his mother, and you said the boy is much harder to raise. So therefore, you know that the man is necessary and he's needed. Right? Okay.
Companionship or none of that. Ego, sex, and power, period. It don't go no higher than that. And love does not exist in power, ego, and sex. Love is a higher level concept that men have they don't have a concept of that. That's why they say, well, men, we don't love like a woman love. We want respect. We want respect. The man can't tell you nothing besides what he wants from you. It's always, we want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. That's his only conversation.
I'm just curious. Did you have a dad in your life?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I said, as a matter of fact, I said, talk to my dad.
And your mom?
Yeah.
So you was raised all the way up with your mom?
Mm-hmm. My dad. See what y'all looking for. See what y'all looking for is subjectivity, right? My dad, like I told you, my dad was military. He was in the military for 20 years, Navy, right? And I had a mentor also at 16 years old who was a political activist, right? The majority of people who I've been around have been male, right? What we want to have is a subjective conversation that, oh, you know what? You only think like this because you didn't have a dad in your life. You didn't have no positive male role models. This ain't got nothing to do with me personally because the evidence and the research is out there. I listen to males every day. I hear y'all talking. We want respect. Let me tell you, all the male talks about is what he need and what he want. It ain't never about what he gives. Just listen to a male. Just listen to him. Is that love? If I come to you and say, hey, I want you to do this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Do you feel love if I tell you everything that I want from you? I'm speaking to you specifically.
Oh, specifically, I'm not anybody you're talking.
Oh, no. I was talking about the lady. Yeah, because she.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat it?
Yes. If I came to you and just told you everything I wanted from you, right? I want you to keep your mouth shut. I just want you to be in the kitchen. I want respect. I want this. I want this. I want this for you. Would you feel love?
No.
Men always tell you we don't love like a woman loves. Let me tell you something. It ain't but one love. It ain't a million different loves. It's one love and men ain't capable of it. Get back here.
Yeah, no. So my question was, so you feel like a man cannot be in love with a woman?
No, he can't. No.
So you don't think a man has never loved a woman?
No. Well, let me ask you this: do you think love is a feeling?
Well, yeah, I want you to explain what your definition of love is.
Because the majority of people think love is a feeling. Love is not a feeling.
Love action.
No, love is not an action either. Let me ask you this question, right? I'm probably giving away too much game, but no, seriously, right? Let me give you an example. If you go fishing, right? The key to fishing is give bait, right?
Yeah.
Give something to get something.
Yeah.
You giving the fish, that's an action to give, because one of the 5 love languages, receiving gifts. If you give somebody something and your intent is to trap them, to deceive them and lure them into a place, how do you know if the action that is being performed unto you is an action rooted in love or deception? How do you know that?
How you don't know?
Right. So love cannot be an action in and of itself, because actions can be deceptive.
Facts. And the meaning and the intention can change. Okay.
Right. So love is not an action either. It ain't an emotion.
So what is love?
But see, here's the thing. 99% of the people on planet Earth don't have a clue what love is. Love is not a concept of the heart. Love is a concept of the mind. And it has everything to do with your intentions behind the actions. So the male's intention of the woman ain't never about what's beneficial for her. Everything that he does is for self-gratification. Ain't never got nothing to do with what is mentally, emotionally, or spiritually beneficial or fulfilling for that woman. Everything that a man talk about is, I want to strip everything that you are at your core away and make you somebody that I need. That's what males do. I want a wife, and I want this wife to do this, that, be this, be that, be that. Fuck what she is at her soul level. Fuck that. That ain't what I want.
Okay, okay, listen, let me tell y'all something. Okay, first and foremost, I do agree that love is in the mind. Yes, it does start in the mind. But once it starts in the mind, then it travels to the heart, and then it becomes the feeling that you have, and you show it through action, right? But like she said, it starts in the mind. So if you know that love starts in the mind, then that means that that man is capable of loving a woman, right? Because it's in his mind. So to say that a man cannot fall in love with a woman, again, that's false in itself, because you say you love within the mind, right? So if he see a woman or let's just say he known a woman for a while, right? And he has great relationship, great communication with her, whatnot. In his mind, he already loved that woman. He already got it to where, dang, I want to be with this woman, right? Now, yes, it is true that people can have a change of heart, but guess what? There's people who done went through divorce, who done broke up with each other, and they still love one another. They have grown to love each other, because that love they have for each other is never going to die. It's still there. It just, they did not coexist as partners or spouse, but the love they have for one another is going to always be there. I can ask men today, do they have love for their baby mamas? Now, some of them say no, they ain't got no love for her because of how she treated him or what they've been through. And then there are those who say that yes, they do have love for her, but because they just was not in their right place, or they felt like it wasn't the right time, or because they felt like they messed up the relationship they had with that woman. So to sit here and say that, well, the man's not capable of love and he don't love no woman, that's a lie in itself. That obviously means that your daddy don't love you, right? I mean, because if you say a man can't love a woman, that means your daddy don't love you. So that basically saying daddy can't love me. And yes, it is true that some men will say, I want respect from a woman. Yes, I mean, but anybody want respect. It ain't just a man. Hell, a woman wants respect from a man. You know what I'm saying? So anybody want respect. I mean, that should come automatically. So, but you sitting here telling people that a man's incapable of loving a woman. So basically you saying your daddy don't love you. I mean, that's just what it sounds like to me. You're basically saying daddy don't love you, right? You basically saying your brother don't love you, right? Or your male family members don't love you. I don't know. And there's different type of love. See, there's different type of love that she wasn't even talking about, okay? There's love that you have for your family. There's love that you have for your friends. And then there's the love that you have for a relationship. And then also there's a love that you have for spiritual connection as far as God is concerned. You didn't break down those different type of loves, did you? You say it's only one love, but what type of love are you speaking of? Are you speaking of love for your family, love for your friend, love for relationship, or love for spirituality as far as God is concerned? Again, it's contradiction. It's a lot of contradiction in her statement. It makes no sense. But I'm going to play about 15 more minutes of this video, okay?
I need this woman to be what I need her to be for me. And when a man's needs change, guess what? His woman changed too.
And just to be clear, we're speaking on all men,
Yes.
not just black men,
All
just
men.
white men.
All men. A male is a male. Color ain't got nothing to do with all males have testosterone, all males have competitive nature, and all males are acting in survival of the fittest, right? It's about who can survive. That's their life. That's their life. Don't matter your ethnicity, your race, or nothing. All males.
So, real quick. So, a kid, let's just say, and I hate going back to nature.
Yeah.
A kid learns, he gets an erection, a girl, she has her first period. We're getting into nature things. Like, okay, now she's able to conceive children. He's able to, ejaculate and put babies in somebody. A kid could go into a situation, let's say a young man could go into a situation, loving a woman based on affection, saying,
So we're at CVS, and I need a morning after pill.
Best for her, and I want the best for me, and I want the best for us. I want us to have a family, and I want the best for her.
Yeah.
I'm coming out of me going into us.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying there's no scenario where a man wants for the woman to win.
No, for the most part, no, because it's always about what benefits him. See, men want to mark territory. Can you love a woman enough to let her go and do her own thing without you trying to sabotage it? Can she leave you and you be okay with it? See, the male wants to own women, right?
You give her territory.
Right. No, y'all want to own women. Y'all want to collect women. That's what y'all want to do. I want to collect resources. Ooh, I got me one. How many you got? Bitch, you ain't got more than me. This y'all behavior. Y'all, it takes an elevated mind. The majority of males could never be a pimp because a pimp has a level of discipline where he has to be like, okay, I'm going to lose you, okay, because he came and knocked my hoe. I'm not going to, even though he might be mad and like that was mine, he has to overcome those feelings and be a quote unquote gentleman player and be like, that's the game. I can't get mad. The average male can't operate like that. Do you understand how much overriding of emotion that the male has to do to be like, okay, you knocked my hoe? Right? The average male can't do it. Right. Y'all can't do it because y'all want to own women. Y'all don't see women as human beings. Y'all see them as tools and resources to collect. Right?
I wouldn't say it was easy for the woman to let the man go either.
Mm-hmm.
So a woman can't just take her L either. When she loses her man, she got to go over to the girl house and fight her.
Well, that's
pull a pistol on her.
well, see, but that again right there is dealing with a psychological brainwash, where women have been brainwashed to really believe that they need men, right? At one point, women was passing men around. The male was the original hoe, and women wasn't loving these hoes. Listen, y'all know that too. Come on, man, y'all know that Tupac line. Come on. Since we all came from a woman, got a game from a woman, I gained from a woman. What did he mean when he said we got our game from a woman? Y'all came from us. Everything that y'all implement, y'all took from the nature of a woman. Women were a community. And they chose the most fit male, and they passed your penis around, and a lot of them got pregnant. And then if you was up to par, they kept you. If you wasn't, they let you skedaddle. They just took the seed. And they didn't love them hoes, but at some point
You said I'm having a hard time raising my girls. It's way easier to raise my boys than my girls. So why do you?
Because you are a male and you have a male mind that is easier for you to be in line with your male child. What you're trying to do is be a male trying to understand female children and trying to mold them in a way that you think female children should be. The problem is everybody's trying to operate outside of their jurisdiction. The female, if men all day, man, women too complicated to understand. Here's a book on how to learn women, and it be this damn thick. The male does not have an understanding of the female brain and behavior. His jurisdiction is male children, right? So yes, you may find that more difficult because you are not a woman. Your jurisdiction is your sons, right? And then we project our idealistic view and behavior on what we think people should be, and we try to force them into that. And instead of observing them and understanding who they are and facilitating the growth of them, right? Yeah, you can shield them from this crap world we're in because it's all a matrix, right? You can shield them from that, but you don't shield them by trying to make them acquiesce. You got to put them on game.
Wait, do you feel men should, it's be in the household? You sound like, men should come drop off a baby and leave or something.
Well, but here's the thing. That's y'all nature.
Damn, I mean,
but that's y'all.
It's a benefit for
no, baby. That's y'all's nature. Y'all need to be in the field. Y'all need to be in them trucks, going away for 3 weeks.
Going to hunt. Bring back food.
But that's the nature of a male. The problem is we're trying to make men be something that they're not. Y'all are not operating at y'all's top game and your highest level of functionality because they're trying to socialize you. And guess what? Testosterone don't fit in the household. Hence the reason why they're doing everything to lower y'all's testosterone levels. Look at the past 50 years and look at the difference between men then and men now. Y'all's testosterone levels are intentionally being lowered, okay? Because it does not integrate in community well. It is a competitive energy where y'all are lone star warriors. You either die or you survive out there.
But you said in the last 50 years and, looking just being in America, women, technically.
Okay. You say men cannot operate as a community, right? Because they are competitive. That's true, but at the same time, that's false. There has been cases where men operate as a community and not just as competitive. Yeah, there's going to be competitorship. You're right. They're going to conquer. They're going to want this, that, and other. But they can also operate as a community as well. You know what I'm saying? As long as they got, people that's in their common circle. Correct? All right. And you say that women are communal, but not competitors. That's false too. That's very false. I mean, Women can be communal, but they can also be competitors. And one of their competition is men, right? So you tell me a woman can't be territorial about men? That's what you telling me. You telling me that a woman cannot be territorial about her man. Because women see men as their territory as well. Let's just be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? So you're telling me that only women are capable of loving and men are not capable of love. That's bullshit. That's bullshit in itself. And then you saying that men was passed around and to other women, but women didn't need no man. So obviously a woman needs a man to reproduce a child, right? Obviously a woman need a man to have a child. So obviously the man was needed for something. Obviously he was needed for something. So you saying that these women didn't love these hoes? Okay, maybe some of them did, maybe some of them did. But they needed a man for something. They need a man for sex to have kids, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Let's be logical. Let's be real. And you're talking about all this science. What type of science are you looking at? What type of research did you do? What type of information? You say this is science. Okay, give some sources out so where the information can be looked up. So it can validate a lot of your claims. But until then, there is claims out there. There is facts to your statement. There is truth. But the rest of it is just based on fabrication. It's like you're fabricating it. You're trying to, you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to play the rest of this. I'm going to play about maybe 5 more minutes of this and then I'm going to be done. Oh, God. Wow. All right, here we go.
Technically, they didn't have the rights that they did. They couldn't vote. They were put to be in a position. I'm going off of just your thought process. You feel like early on, let's say when America was first formulated, it should have been ran by women. And men were understudy or servants of women to build this.
Well, here's the thing.
Nation.
Again, this matrix patriotism. Well, here, no. You got it because see this because you're talking about America, but all of that. Here's the thing: patriotism. Patri means father, right? The prefix patri means father. So you being patriotic, you're supporting male rule because that's what that means. Patriarchy means male rule, okay, or father rule. That's what it literally translates into, okay. So coming to America. Remember, America is built on stolen land. This is a corporation. The natives here that were originally here, they operated in line with nature. They were matriarchal, right? Patriarchy created this dysfunction, right? Because they put men in a position they were not naturally meant to occupy. Men need to be controlled. They need commands. When you give a male freedom that he did not earn, when you give a male freedom that he did not earn, he does not know how to handle it because with more knowledge comes more power. With more power comes more responsibility. And all of that is connected to freedom. Men don't want responsibility. They want power with no responsibility. It don't work like that. But y'all don't know. Y'all men do not, the average male does not know the responsibility that comes with power and freedom. He's reckless. And then he goes and creates multiple babies. And then when he does that, who does he blame? He blames the woman because you took women's rights away and prevented them from being able to actually make decisions and reject you. You sold them on being married to men, which poisoned them and allowed them to let you knock them up with a bunch of kids. Yeah, and now you got a bunch of people in the world who are weak because you got weak males who would have never passed their genes along had women had the power to reject them. Now we just letting any old Tom, Dick, and Harry create a child. Now you got a bunch of retarded people out here that wouldn't be here. That's just the bottom line.
I've been watching like a lot of like throwback shows and movies, like Old England, Queen Charlotte type situations where, you know, you're in these situations where, you know, these two kingdoms, they marrying off these kids, they're getting married. In the first couple of weeks, you know, she's due to be pregnant, you know what I'm saying? She needs to produce an heir, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it was worse then, or made more sense than the way things were set up?
Well, you got to realize that everything was set up to get us to where we are right now. All of it, right? So the overpopulation of the planet, the famine, the wars, it all began with the anti-natural setup, right? So it doesn't matter how far you go back. I remember when I was in college, I had to write a paper, and I was the only one in the class that made an A on this paper. It was a sociology paper, and I had to write about communism and socialism. And basically, at the end of the paper, the whole thing was about there is no perfect system. All of these systems fail. And the reason why all of these systems fail is because they all go against nature, and they manipulate things and make things worse than they were in a completely natural environment. So everything is, when it's dealing with patriarchy and collecting humans and selling them and doing all that's anti-nature, and it would.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stop there. So as far as the taking a woman's right away, whatever. Okay. So now there's been a situation about the Roe versus Wade. It's not necessarily, see, people have a misconception. They think, oh, you controlling my body. How can the government, so is the government telling you when to get pregnant? Is the government tell you when to have a baby? Is the government tell you when to have sex? Last time I checked, no. But what the government is doing is limiting the amount of services that you can get as far as that is concerned, the abortion is concerned. Okay, that's what the government is doing, is making limitation on that. You know what I'm saying? As far as like what type of service they gonna offer you. All right. But all this stuff about but I agree that there are men that have taken away women's, you know, right, as far as not just a right to have abortion and all that, but it's just like right to their humanity. I mean, we gotta be honest. Yes, I agree that the patriarchal system have done a serious detriment to women and men as a collective. That I do agree with, but also at the same time, as far as marriage is concerned, there is different type of marriages out there. You got marriage that's based on arrangement, that is based on force, and you have marriage that's based on unison. All right. You have that. Okay. So the purpose of a marriage, right, is to bring about unison. Marriage is a form of business, but it's also a unison between a man and a woman. And so, yes, there has been the patriarchal idea of taking the man's last name. And it's not so much of the fact that you his property and he controls you type situation. That's not always the case. It's more so of the fact that by you being with him, he's responsible for making sure you are protected. He's responsible for making sure that you are provided for. You know what I'm saying? So you become a part of his family. You know what I'm saying? You guys are in unison. However, he has that responsibility over his wife and his children. All right. It's like you become a part of his tribe per se. You know what I'm saying? And also he's married into your tribe as well. Right? So what we have to understand, when fathers made sure their daughters were married to certain men, they also told this man, hey, I'm holding you responsible because she's no longer in my household. Now that my daughter is, I'm giving my daughter over to you. Are you going to be able to make sure that she's provided for, that she's cared for? Because once the father gives his daughter over to this man, he got to be able to, he's showing that he's trusting this man enough to make sure that he will keep his daughter protected at all costs and value her. All right. So we don't have those days where it used to be back in the day where if you was dating a guy or if you was trying to get in a relationship with this guy, etc., you would let the man meet your daddy first before anything else jump off. Why is that? Because the dad want to get to know him. You know what I'm saying? The dad knows more about men than you do. All right. So daddy needs to sit down and have a conversation with him to figure out what type of man he is. What's his whole purpose? What's his whole agenda? Or would you be a good fit for my child? So daddy might know something about him that you don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? Daddy might point something out about him that you don't even recognize. So I get what Princella is doing. I think that, yeah, it's good that as women, we need to know about the opposite sex, but we also need to know about ourselves as women as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you could teach women about men, but you also got to teach women about being a woman first. You know what I mean? And I don't really hear much about her teaching women about women. You know what I'm saying? If you notice, she don't really talk much about what it really means to be a woman and what it means to what's the quality of a woman. You don't hear her talking much about that. You hear her talking more so about men. Like she's the expert of men rather than being the expert of women. You know what I'm saying? But yes, it is important that you know both sides. You really got to know that. But you also got to know that as humans, we all have needs. That is a natural thing. We all have needs. Not just one group of human having this need and the other one don't have no needs. That's impossible. We all got needs. You know what I'm saying? We all trying to survive. Okay? So you can't sit here and make an argument saying, well, women don't need men, but men need women. That just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in this type of world we're living in. It doesn't work. Because what you're doing is you're kind of brainwashing women to think that they can do without men all the way. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That is not necessarily true. You cannot live in a world where you can just operate without men. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or men cannot just live in a world where they can't operate without women. It's just impossible. We all need each other. And as far as like the system is concerned, I don't think the system should be patriarch, in my opinion. I don't think it should just be patriarch. Okay. But it should also be the concept of both patriarch and matriarch, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If there was going to be a patriarchal rule, there should be a matriarchal rule as well to keep it balanced. That's just what I think. What I know is that she don't speak of, she don't even talk about culture, because that's different cultural practices. You know what I'm saying? The cultural practice that we do here in the United States is not always acceptable in other countries. Okay. So you're talking about men in general. Yeah, that's cool if you want to talk about that. But you also got to look at cultural practice, because culture is a driving force of evolution. Okay. Culture is a driving force of evolution, not just biology. I mean, biology is one thing, but biology don't mean nothing if you ain't got a culture, because that's what keep the evolution going. So I didn't really hear her talking too much about culture. Okay, because what we have to break down first and foremost, the type of patriarchal culture that we live in here in North America is Eurocentric. We live in a Eurocentric patriarchal culture. That's what we live in under. We live in a system that's based on Western ideology. Okay, so that's something that she did not break down, nor did she talk about. All right, so there is some differences in cultural practice. Not everybody practice the culture the same way that we do. Okay, so let's get that part straight. So human created culture for a reason. All right. And they did that to keep things balanced, to keep the evolution going. I feel like this. So if you guys want to watch the video, y'all can see it for yourself if y'all want to watch the whole interview. But I feel like there is detriment. There is truth, but there is bias and there is exaggeration. Okay, there's the truth that she has put out there, but also there's a lot of biases coming from her, and there's a lot of exaggeration. What she doing, this is what I'm getting out the video. When I watched this whole interview, I'm getting that you're teaching women how to reverse their role and get into the patriarchal level, pretty much. So you basically want to replace. It sounds like to me you want to keep it patriarchal, but you want to put the woman's face on there instead of having the man on there. That's what it seems like. So it's like a reverse patriarchy to me. So it's like you're not really trying to dismantle patriarchy, you're trying to reverse it. That's what it sounds like to me. And also, I feel like with you telling women that men are supposed to be slaves, that's a serious detriment, because it's bad enough that we already under a patriarchal system. And under this patriarchal system, we dealt with slavery, especially as African-American people here in this country. Now, you want to put this idea that men are supposed to be slave under women. That's detrimental. That's doing a disservice to women themselves. Because if you know a man's nature is the fact that he's violent, he's territorial, right? He's very conquering, okay? He's aggressive. If you know that, then why would you want to put a woman in that predicament where she feel like, oh, she could treat a man as a slave? Why put that woman in that predicament knowing men's nature? Because we all know what happens when a slave gets tired of their master. They eventually rebel against their master. The slave will rebel against their master. And with that being the case, what happens when you have a slave rebellion? It's hard to keep the slave under control, right? So if you say men are hard to keep under control, ain't no sense of trying to make them your damn slave. Because it's not going to work. That's going to put a lot of women in a detrimental situation. Because women are not as physically strong as men. Women are not as aggressive as men. Okay? And by you saying that men are emotionally reactive and women are emotionally expressive, right? If women are emotionally expressive and men are emotionally reactive, we know damn good well it wouldn't be a good idea to try to make a man a slave to a woman. Because we know this, right? So the best thing to do is learn how to pay attention to certain personality. Learn the characteristic of a man. And know how to vet him properly. That would be the best thing to do, as opposed to saying that, oh, he's supposed to be the slave to the woman. No, because it's already bad enough that we deal with the patriarchal system and it has destroyed us psychologically altogether. And now you trying to come up with this concept, trying to bring that to, no, it's not going to work. It's not. It's going to be a lot more rebellion. Okay. And a lot of women are going to find themselves in a fucked up ass situation. I'm just going to be, and let's just be straight up about that. That's not going to work. No, baby doll, that is not going to work. You might as well just get that out your head. If you think that finna happen, that is not finna work at all. And it shouldn't be that way either. It shouldn't be the fact that, oh, we are slaves to one another. No, that should not be that way. But again, yeah, it's not gonna work. You might as well get that out your head, baby doll. Ain't no sense of you talking like that. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That ain't finna work. Ain't no, nah, girlfriend. You finna get some women fucked up trying to teach that bullshit. You finna get some women fucked up for real. You finna get some women fucked up talking about some make a man your slave. Girl, stop. Girl, stop. That shit ain't finna work. That shit ain't finna work. It ain't gonna work for long. Because he gonna retaliate. If I know a man's nature and I know what he capable of doing, why in the fuck would I try to put myself in that predicament? Girl, stop. Girl, stop. Cut that shit out, man. No, bro, that's not gonna work. Cut it out. Cut it out, man. Ooh. That is not gonna work. And then you always refer to the game of chess. Yes, it's true that the queen is the most powerful piece on the board. She might be the most powerful piece. But guess what? It let the queen get involved in somebody's territory. Because remember, you said men are territorial and conquering, right? So if the queen is the most powerful piece on the board, as you claim, that means she got to be territorial too, right? I mean, let's make it make sense. That means she got to be territorial too. Check this out. If she gets caught in the territory of her opponent, she's going to be taken out. So if she get caught in the territory of the rook, she's going to be taken out by the rook. If she get caught in the territory of the bishop, she's going to be taken out by the bishop. If she gets caught up in the territory of the knight, she's going to be taken out by the knight. If she get caught up in the territory of the other queen, she's going to be taken out by the other queen. If she get caught up in the territory of a king, she's gonna be taken out by the king. If she gets caught up in the territory of the pawn, she's gonna be taken out by the pawn. So therefore, it would be wise for the queen to move at a certain angle. Yes, she can move however she wants to. She can move at any direction, but she has to be careful how she moves. That's the key thing. When you're playing the game of chess, you got to be careful how you move the queen. You don't just move the queen automatically, right? You don't move the queen until you're sure that you got enough space for her to be able to maneuver around safely. If she's not able to maneuver around safely, then it's best to not move that piece. It's best to move the pawns first, right? Or move the knight or bishop before you move the queen. Because you got to be able to make sure the whole object of that game, right? If you got the queen on there, you got to make sure she's protected. And also make sure the king is protected as well, right? And you got to go into your opponent's territory. But here's the thing. If she's not at a safe place where she can be able to move around, right? Or she's in the territory of her enemy, she can get taken out. So therefore, the queen got to have protection too. So she can be able to maneuver around. And be able to conquer the territory. I mean, it's a lot to it. See, you make it sound like the game of chess is so easy. It's really not that easy, girlfriend. Girlfriend, it's not that easy. Stop making it sound like it's so easy. It involves a lot of critical thinking. That's the whole purpose of playing chess, is learning how to be able to use critical analysis, critically think without just acting out. So you could do that in a game of checker. You can move it like how you want to move in checker. You can move the pieces the way you want to move the pieces, right? You can take out whoever you want to take out. But in chess, you got to be careful how you move. Yeah, you might take out an opponent, but guess what? There's always another piece that's going to take you out as well. So it's all about using critical thinking. You want to be the last man standing, right? You want to be logical. You want to be analytical. You want to be strategical. You want to be tactical. Again, logical, analytical, strategical, and tactical. You want to make yourself last. You want to make yourself last on the game. You don't want to just move in any direction. Boom, you fall into a trap. First thing that women got to learn is how to critically think. And most women don't know how to think critically. The first thing that we think is with our emotions and not our logic. We think with our emotion and not with our logic. And that's what tends to mess us up, because our emotion can make you feel some kind of way. It can make you feel happy. It can make you feel sad. It can make you feel good, but it also can make you irrational. And at times, our emotion can make us irrational because we're not thinking. We're not thinking of what can happen. So we have to think before we act on something. And that's an actual fact right there. So I think, in my opinion, and I'm going to say it sounds like a bunch of technology to me. So it's like there's truth mixed with a lot of falsehood. And there's truth mixed with a lot of contradiction. There's truth mixed with a lot of bias. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's like the things that she say don't necessarily line up all the way. It don't all the way line up. So like I said, there's some things that I can agree, and there's things I strongly disagree. All right. But yeah, don't put no woman in a predicament where she found herself fucked up, Princella. Don't do that. Really, like, seriously, don't do that. If you know the nature of a man, it's best to teach women how to think critically and how to vet a man properly before she even jump into a relationship with him. And not just make her feel like, oh, because let me tell you what's going to happen. Women can take your information and they can run away with it. And they can get it misconstrued. So now they trying to practice all this shit that you talking about, right? Or all that shit you put in the book. They go out there and try to put that shit into practice. They find themselves in a fucked up ass predicament. They find themselves in a fucked up ass predicament. Real talk. 9 times out of 10. Because they don't know how to critically think. They not carefully analyzing. It's a cold world out here. You better be careful who you come across, who you dealing with. You can't just do any and everything to everybody, because everybody ain't going for the bullshit. Everybody's not going to go for the trick. Everybody's not going to fall under the deception. Everybody's not going to do it. So so the best thing to do is teach women how to be careful when they out here dealing with men or getting involved in relationships. How to be careful. That's all I gotta say about that. Let me see. What the hell you talking about? I need to do better research, bro. Did black men take black women's rights away? In what extent you talking about? In what extent are you talking about? And also the question is, how's they a lot of black men took away women's rights if most of them wasn't even in the household? If most of them were in the household, how's that they really took a lot away the rights? Now, certain ones who operate on the concept of being controlling and abusive, yeah, you could talk about them, but everybody else, how? Or unless you're talking about organizations that pretty much say, hey, this is male dominated, or we're gonna run it the way we want to run it, and the women just gonna be behind the scene, then yeah, you got something to talk about in that case. But at the same time, overall, if the man wasn't really in the household as much, how much rights was taken away from the woman? I mean, this is something that you have to think about. If the man was not really in the household, how much rights was taken away from the woman? Pretty much most women were by themselves. I mean, how? Okay, let's see. Answer this. Why can't the woman be the dominate one in the relation, the man submits? Listen here, let me tell you something. This ain't about the woman dominating or the man dominating. At the end of the day, you going to submit to each other regardless. So ain't man that sit around here talking about my woman got to submit to me. Guess what? You're going to automatically submit to your woman as well. If you think that you ain't finna submit to your woman as a man, you a damn lie. You living in a utopia. You're going to submit to your woman. You're going to submit to your woman regardless, period. You're going to submit to each other. That's just how it's going to be, naturally speaking. So you can't have a woman submit to you and you not submit to her. You're going to reciprocate that back automatically. It's going to be reciprocated. Unless you just that cold-blooded ass motherfucker that don't give a damn, then that's different. But if you supposedly be in love with this woman and y'all supposedly have a relationship, you're going to reciprocate that. Okay, why can the woman be the relation and the man submit? Woman can protect and provide now due to. I don't know what you talking about. Like protect in what way? In what way? I mean, to a certain extent, a woman can protect. To a certain extent, a woman can provide. But there ain't no woman finna sit around. I don't know no woman that's gonna sit around and take care of a man all day. Unless she's the one that's just sitting up there and let him run over her and tell her what to do. But otherwise, I don't know too many women that's gonna be willing to want to take care of men all day long. I don't know too many women that has a proper defense mechanism know how to protect a man. I mean, a woman can only do so much when it comes to a protection of a man. She can only do so much. I mean, she ain't got, like I said, she don't have that physical strength like a man to do all the protecting. Right? Okay, majority of these women, they really don't. They don't have that physical strength. You can't put majority of these women out there in the field to fight. You can't. Most women don't use guns. That's the problem. Here's the thing. Most women do not like guns. You only have a selective of women that will go get guns. But most women do not like using guns. The average woman do not carry guns in her house. The average woman do not carry guns in her house. Most of them don't, because they scared of guns. Most of them don't like the sound of guns. Most of them don't like being around guns. I'm telling you this because I know from being around women. Now, I ain't one of those women, okay? Because I ain't got no problem with them. You know what I'm saying? I advocate for protection. I advocate for the right to have guns, okay? I advocate for women to learn self-defense. I do advocate for that. But majority of the women in this world do not carry guns. They don't like the sound of guns. And I know this for a fact. And it's very rare you're going to see women at the gun range. You're not going to see too many women at the gun range like that. Maybe a few of them, but a vast majority of women are not going to the gun range. They're not going to go to the gun range because they cannot overcome their fears of guns. They cannot overcome their fears of hearing a shotgun, a pistol, or AK, whatever. They cannot overcome their fears. And that's just realistic. Okay, that's female cops, but again, let's be realistic. Let's compare female cops to male cops. How many female cops is it to a male cops? How many female cops is it to male cops? Since you talking about female cops, how many female cops do you have compared to the male cops? How many? You say we got female cops and soldiers. How many female soldiers do you have compared to the male soldiers? No, they are not equal. See, you're not giving that's false. They're not equal. How many female cops do you have compared to the male cops? How many female cops that's working in the law enforcement right now compared to male cops? I can guarantee you there's majority of male cops than there are female cops. I can guarantee you that. And I can guarantee you there are majority of male soldiers than there are female soldiers. So I'm not saying that there's no females working that's not in those fields, but let's just be honest. You're not going to find as many women out there that's doing the things, dealing with law enforcement, or that's into military work. And if they are in the military, you're not going to hear about too many women out there doing combat. If they in the military, they somewhere behind the scene. They not in combat like that. I'm going to tell you that right now. Most of them is not in combat. Because most of the people that are in combat are males. Most of them are not female. Most of the time you'll find women doing like some type of domestic work, or they somewhere operating with machines or something. You know what I'm saying? But they not out there in the combat field. Most of them are not doing combat. I can tell you that for sure. What do you think is wrong with her? What I think is that Princella wants to be, she wants to have that same position as a man. That's what I think. She wants to be a madam. That's what it sounds like to me. She wants to be a madam. A madam is like a female pimp. That's basically what a madam is, a female pimp. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Princella want to be a pimp. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then that's your business, bro. Bro, don't try to make it seem like that ain't what it is, because you basically putting it out there. Because if you heard in the video, she keep referring to pimps, pimps, pimps. She keep talking about the books that she read by pimps, this, that, and other. So that lets me know right there, oh, you want to have that level or that mentality like a pimp. That's what you want to be. Because that's basically what she has, a mentality like a pimp. She thinking from a pimp perspective. I mean, good luck with that. You can go to a YouTube channel. She got a channel. It's called Queen Maker or some shit like that. Let me put it in here. Let me see. I think it's called Queen Maker. That's her channel. Shit. I don't know. Yeah, that's the name of her channel. That's her channel. So if you wanna chop it up with her, you go ahead, go over there to her channel. It's called Queen Maker. But yeah. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You go ahead and chop it up with her. Go ahead and chop it up with that woman. But yeah, that's just my whole stance on this. That's my whole stance on this whole thing. Yeah. So that's how I feel. So again, y'all can check out the interview. It's on Real Life Production. Real Life Production YouTube. And her channel is called Queen Maker. So y'all can go ahead and look at it and y'all can watch it for yourself and, give your own analysis on it. Maybe y'all will have a different point of view about it. You know what I mean? So, hey, if y'all agree with what she's saying, hey, that's cool. If you agree with it. But me, I don't 100% agree with all that shit she's talking about. Only thing I can say is I may agree with maybe 53% of what she's talking about. Maybe 53%. And the 47% is a bunch of bullshit. I'm just going to be honest with you. 47% of the shit that she say is a bunch of bullshit. And I mean, she know what she doing. She know exactly what the fuck she doing. 47% of that's some bullshit she talking. But 53% of it is pretty much true. But yeah, the rest of it is some bullshit. All right, y'all. So I'm about to go ahead and log off here. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for coming through, watching the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Also, check out all my other videos out here. Look, check out my other videos that I have done, my previous videos. So if you want to share my videos, go ahead and do that. If you want to do that, then go ahead and share the video. But yeah, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe. Till next time, peace and power, elevation be to all you. This your girl Tiffany, and I'm logging off saying deuces, and y'all have a good one. All right, thank you.